So here's the thing about this whole modern dad bid. I can have the best job in the world and get to play with all the toys I want, and I do, but there's my car. So this is a 2005 Honda Civic. It's modern-ish, not the world's most high-tech automobile, is it? But it is mine, so there's that. It does have a pink car seat. So I've been trying to figure out how can I bring a little bit of smarts into this vehicle. So one of the things you can do to make your drive a little bit safer and a little bit smarter is swap out the stereo that's in the car. And I've done that. This one does Apple's CarPlay or Android Auto. And I think it's super important to actually be able to use one of those two because it makes it so much easier to use maps or even make and receive phone calls and text messaging, all without ever actually touching your phone. So I finally have an excuse to try this little thing from Automatic. It's a dongle that plugs into your diagnostic port. It tells you if your car has any issues. It'll tell you about how well you drive, where you go. You get a whole bunch of really cool data from this thing. So this is it. This is Automatic. There are two versions. There's Automatic Pro and Automatic Lite. This one is Automatic Pro. The biggest difference is it has a 3G radio inside of it. So it'll actually shoot data out without a smartphone being connected to it at all. It works wherever I am. I have Automatic Lite. It's in my wife's car. The biggest difference there, it's missing a few features and we'll go through those in a little bit, but it has to have a Bluetooth connection to a phone before it will sync any of its data. It still works the rest of the time. It just doesn't move any of the data around until it syncs to a phone. But Automatic Pro, Automatic Lite, they look exactly the same. They plug in exactly the same way. And to do that, you're going to need to find the diagnostic port. It's usually under the driver's side dash. It's called an OBD2 port. And it's very simple. Once you know where it is, you just plug it in. Almost. There it is. It's that simple. It plugs in. And now I don't have to do anything. It just sits there and I drive around.
So the app itself is actually really simple. It's the same on iOS as it is on Android. And when you fire it up, you see a drawer. So you see you have my car, you've got my Civic, and you've got my wife's Rogue. Spending a little time on, just kind of depends on how much you really want to dive deep into that rabbit hole. But like Concur, if you use Concur for work stuff, or Expensify, and I use both of them, they're great. You can tie them directly into there. So if you're driving for your job, very cool. Alexa, yes, you can ask Alexa, where's my car? So a whole bunch of stuff in there to play with. Nest can set up to preheat. So very cool and definitely worth spending some time on. Pretty standard app fare in here, right? So Automatic's done a really good job pulling all that together. And let's just look at my car now. I have parked at my office. And in fact, I have. So very cool. And it will give me walking directions back to my car. So that's super handy. And it basically just walks you through your day. It'll walk you through your trip. And then it's got a crash alert. So this is super cool with Automatic Pro. So if it detects that I've been in a crash, you know, I assume it's doing it with a sudden deceleration. You set up an emergency contact and it will contact my wife. So I know everything's all about apps these days, but it's actually worth taking a minute and logging in to the Automatic website and looking at your dashboard there. Like, here are all my trips in my car. And so you see them all in one place. So it does have a whole lot of data on you, right? And that's one of the big questions about this is how much data do you want to give one place? If you're not comfortable with that, you might not be comfortable with this product. But labs is where things get really interesting. And this isn't available in the app at all, so you're going to have to come to the website to do it. Let's see what else we got. Diagnostic trouble codes. Did have one for a while, and it was actually this O2 sensor heater circuit that I had to get replaced. And here's what was really cool. You're able to do it with a device like this. It will tell you what the code is. You can go buy the part yourself, and then I had somebody help me swap it in for like $20. So if you're curious about how your battery is doing, but this is showing me when my battery is recharging while I'm driving and when it is just essentially being wasted while the car is parked. So all batteries do that, don't freak out. Hyperlapse Generator. This is super cool. So it can take any one of your trips, pull Google Maps images. It will create kind of very rough hyperlapse of your journey. So we're gonna hop back across Pensacola Bay, 3 miles of bridge, relocate your commute. So if I wanted to see how our trips look across New York, it just plops them on top of New York. See what San Francisco looks like, just because. In the Automatic, dashboard.automatic.com. Definitely worth checking out. So final verdict on Automatic Pro and Automatic Lite. I don't think this is something that I have to have. I'm glad I've tried it, glad I've used it. It gets you a bunch of pretty cool data that you can play with. It's not something at the end of the day I have to, grab my phone and say, all right, where did I go and how much did I drive? If I had to drive for work though, that would be a very different story, right? It makes it really easy to log which trips are business trips versus personal. In fact, it's just one tab.
tap. The apps are great. The apps are really simple to use. Oh, and one thing we haven't talked about the pricing, it's $130 for Automatic Pro, and that's it, right? They say you get 5 years of 3G service with it, and really that's gonna be the lifetime of the product. So right now somebody's saying, Phil, I've seen these commercials on TV. You know, some of the wireless carriers are selling these same sort of dongles. That is absolutely true. Take a look though, you gotta do some math yourself. It's gonna cost you a little bit of money on the outset, and then something around like $10 a month or whatever for 2 years. So yeah, I think I really do. I highly recommend this. Automatic Pro, Automatic Lite, $130 for Pro, $80 for Lite. And it makes my car just a little bit smarter. And you know, maybe that makes me just a little bit smarter. That's a very modern dad thing to do. So thumbs up from me. Have a good time with it. See ya.
Crazy, don't go crazy, yo.